Jayatyashruta santrasa dhvanta vidvamsanodayah prabhavan sitaya devya paramavyoma bhaskaraha.
Ready. Take it.
Jayatyashruta santrasa dhvanta vidvamsanodayah prabhavan sitaya devya paramavyoma bhaskaraha. To that Ram who shines even more with Sita, let his blessings be showered on us, is the meaning of this beautiful shloka by a poet and a philosopher par excellence called as Vedanta Deshika. Here we were lying and trying to understand the experience of the poet come composer Tyagaraj of the Telugu tradition. He wanted to celebrate the marriage of Sita and Ram. While this was his objective, this was his aim, he was a very poor person. He couldn't afford for how a marriage could happen. While this was the case on one hand, in his heart he thought, if Ram and Sita were to be brought in my heart together, then my heart shall turn into the hall of marriage for them. The capillaries, the arteries that run shall be the beautiful string of garlands that decorate the pandal or the mantap of Ram and Sita. If swinging the swing is what is performed in the marriage, every beat of my heart shall turn into one such. And he composed a beautiful composition which is sung in most of the South Indian marriages. I'll just sing 2 lines of that to give a glimpse of how the song would sound. Sita Kalyana Vaibhogame Rama Kalyana Vaibhogame. In those days, it was a tradition to read out the marriage invitation and the proceedings of the marriage, along with describing the dynasty both the bride and the groom come from in Sanskrit. So I shall read what was read in Sitaram's marriage. Atha janaka nrupatihi manoratha maharnavaparang gatva paramananda jaladhau nimagnaha jagachakshuhu kulabhushanasya jagatraya samrakshana dikshitasya nata janakalpataroho shri kodanda diksha guroho vivaha mahotsava kshitirata vapurita मनोरथ भगीरथ वंश जातम अतिरथ महारथ पृथ्वीपति वंदितम दशरथ महाराजम रथ गज तुरग पदादि सहितम समंत्रि पुरोहितम सपुत्र कलत्र सपरिवारमानाय सत्कृत्य नानाविध क्रमुक नारिकेल रंबादि फलगुच्छ सहस्र शात कुंभ स्तंभ भूषिते जंभारि चिरकांक्षिते परिपूर्ण मनोरथ परप्रामोद पौर भक्त जन परस्पर कृत सल्लापे सकल मनोहरालापे किरीट कवच कुंडल केयूर नूपुर मुक्ताहार विभूषित नानाविध मृदुल चित्रासनस्थ नाना देशागत राजवर्य बृंदे लोचनानंदे नानाविध वर्ण स्वर्ण पुष्प स्तबक कोटि दे दीप्यमान मालय चंदना गुरु गुग्गुलु गोघृतादि दिव्य परिमल वासना वस्तु गुमगुमायमान सभांतरे निरंतर मणिखचित मुकुर परंपरे भेरी मृदंग मद्दळ काहळ तुंदु पितूरिय तुम्बुरु वीणा वेणु नूपुर मड्डुक डिंडिम डमरुक जंजरि जल्लरि धवळ शंख पणव पट हाद्य अष्टादश वाद्य घोष संतत शब्दायमान सकल दिगंतरे नारद तुम्बुरु वीणा गान मनोहरे सवत्स गो सहस्राध्यनेक कोटि हिरण्य वस्त्राभरण भूदान बहुमान संतोषित पात्र भूतोभय संबंधि राज श्रेष्ठ वंशावली नाम गोत्र प्रवरोच्चारण निपुण वसिष्ठ वामदेव विश्वामित्र शतानंदादि सकल मुनिगण संकीर्ण विवाह वेदी मध्ये कृतस्तव सिद्ध साध्ये अब्ज भव जिष्णुमुख हृष्ट सकल त्रिदश सप्तमरुदष्टवशु यक्षगण सिद्धजन रुद्रगण सत्कृत पवित्रतर मित्रकुल रत्न सुगुणस्तव समस्त प्रशस्त बिरुदस्तोमनिनदे निरस्त गणदेन्द्र बिरुदे संकर्षण ध्याद्यमर बृंदावकीर्यमाण मंदार कुसुम मुखनंदन वर्षे नवरत्न मणिकचित कनकमय मंटपे किञ्चितारुद्धतारुण्यं नतजनैककारुण्यं विदलितमहेशचापं विधिमुखसुराविदितप्रतापं परिहृतमुनिजनं तापं भानुकुलरत्नदीपं सम्पूरितभक्तजनकामं सजलजलधरश्यामं सकललोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं सन्निवेशकेतीचम्पकमल्लिकाध्यलङ्कृतनीलालकवेणीं कलहंसगामिनीं करुणावलोकिनीम् अनगमणिकचितहेमकण्ठीं करजितकलकण्ठीं हाटकमणिमयताटकालङ्कृतकपोलाम् अगणितकल्याणगुणशीलाम् अरविन्दसुन्दरमन्दहासमुखीं श्रीरघुनन्दनाभमुखीं कृत्वा इयं सीता मम सुता सह धर्मचरी तव प्रतीच्छचैनां भद्रं ते पाणिं गृणीष्व पाणिना इति क्षीराब्धिरिव महालक्ष्मीं श्रीमते नारायणाय शोभन मन्त्राक्षत हिरण्योदक धारासहितां मन्दस्मितां सीतां श्रीरामचन्द्रकरारविन्दे समर्पयामास शुभम् is a beautiful invitation in Sanskrit that was read. How beautiful the experience would have been. How beautiful the scene would have been. It's even tough for us to imagine such a beautiful scene, for we have never seen one such scene to even imagine. So, it goes behind what we have perceived, what we have inferred, and what we have even thought about. Well, people were aligned, people were present in full number to witness this beautiful opulence of pomp and show. Well, while this marriage was happening on one side, you do need a little hurdle on the other. There came the Aveshyavatar of Vishnu called as Parashuram. He was called as Parashuram because he always held the axe in his hand, Parashu in him. So he was called Parashuram. Originally, he came from the line of Bhrigu, so he was called Bhargavram. He was a very angry person. He was called Rosharam. He marched towards the city of Mithila. Well, on the other hand, people had performed the marriage. They got inside the chariot. While they started from this city of Janakpuri, Dasharath sensed certain bad omens around him. He felt that after such a great and auspicious marriage, why should I sense bad omens? So he looked at his family priest called Vasisht and said, "Hey Vasisht, please do guide me as to why are the omens so bad?" Because we have a shastram called as Shakuna Shastram in Sanskrit. Shaku in Sanskrit means bird. Since the girl of Vishwamitra and Menaka was protected from the torrential rains by the birds around her. Birds are called as Shaku. She was called as Shakuntala. This particular Shastra, which speaks about how good the omen will be or bad, ye acha hai ya bura hai, whether it will be good or bad, is determined by the movement of the birds. Hence it is called as Shakuna Shastram. So, if somebody spots a cat going from left to right or right to left, he cannot say that this is a sign of good or bad because cats are not birds. So, only with the movement of the birds, if the omens are determined, it is called as Shakuna Shastram. Those omens which are determined except the birds, leaving away the birds, excluding the birds, with animals around, with objects around, it is called as Nimitta Shastram. So, with the birds moving here and there and with animals moving hither and thither, Dasharath could spot that there was a bad omen. While he was asking for an explanation from his family priest, immediately came an answer from Vasisht who said, "Well, you do notice omens which say that things are bad, but I have also noticed omens that things which may appear bad will go away immediately and there will only be goodness and auspiciousness." So, while they were just speaking about this, arrived this person called Parashuram. Dasharath approached Parashuram and said, "Hey Rishi, we are really blessed by your presence. Please tell how this primitive mortal on this earth can serve you? Of what use and significance can I be to you? Hey Rishi, asked Dasharath. Parashuram was angry. He was a personification of anger. Is anger a bad virtue? If you would remember a particular verse at the start of Ramayana, at the start of Balakand, Valmiki asked Narad, Konasvin sampratam loke gunavan, kascha viryavan, dharmagyascha kritagnyascha satyavakyo dridhavrataha, charitrena cha koyuktaha, dharmabhuteshu kohitaha, vidwan kakkas samarthascha kaschaika priyadarshanaha, atmavan kojita krodaha, dhyutiman kona suyakaha, kasya bibhyati devascha jataroshasya samyuge. Jita krodhaha is one of the qualities where Valmiki wanted. He said that the person whom I am addressing, the person whom I am asking for Narad Rishi, he should have won over anger. Jita krodhaha, one who has won over anger. And indeed, for that question, Narad said, Ikshvaku vamsha prabhavaha Ramo nama janaishrutaha. Ram is the one who has won over anger. If Ram gets angry in certain places, then he isn't won over anger. If he has won over anger, he shouldn't get angry in any kind of a situation. So there is an anyonya ashrayam. If he isn't getting angry, he has won over anger. If he has won over anger, he shouldn't get angry. But there are instances where he has got angry, but still people call him that he has won over anger. How is that possible? Then we need to resolve this particular riddle. Riddle or a puzzle in Sanskrit is called as prahelika. So let us try resolving this prahelika in the next episode. Thank you.